Grab that, move that up here, and then same thing with our zombie teeth. Grab and move that up. Ta-da! And now we play that together. Oh, look at that deliciousness. And the nice thing about this, having them separate, is that you can make last minute changes. If you need it to be lighter or darker, you have those to work with here. Adjust the hue on all of this to change color. Okay, so the next step is rendering out a image sequence of just the teeth because we're going to overlay that on our video. So let's go to rendered, change this to render result, and press F12 to see what we have. Okay, so this is not what we want. And if you notice in our output tab, all the way down at the bottom, post-processing, we have here, we want to uncheck sequencer. And we also want to uncheck compositing because we're not compositing anything just yet. So let's hit F12 again, and now we can see that we have this here. Now, again, remember, we had changed our film to transparent. So if you're not seeing any transparency like this, then you need to make sure that's checked. So this is going to be an overlay. All right, so let's go back to frame 1, F12, and yeah, I think we're ready to go. So let's go to our output. And 1920 by 1080, you can change all of these to however you want here. This says 30 frames per second. I'm going to do 23.98 because that's what I usually have. And here is where our previous image sequence was. So I'm just going to make another one. So let's just open this up here and we're going to go up. I'm going to make a new folder called Zombie Teeth 0109 because that is the iteration I'm on with my saves. And then I'm just going to do 0109 underscore here just like that. And now we have in our image sequence folder, we have a zombie teeth 0109 folder and then 0109 for our image file name. Okay, I'm going to uncheck overwrite and then change this to a PNG and make sure RGBA for the alpha is selected. That's very important because we need this to be an overlay. All right, I'm going to save it and I think we're ready to render. So just Control F12 will render this out. Now I do remember that we did not change our color management back to Filmic. So that might be something you want to do if you wanted to have a more realistic look, with physically based light rendering if you're using cycles. So that's something that you could do. In this case, I'm not going to. I'm just going to keep it at standard. Cool. So now let's go back to our compositor and render out the marker removal footage. All right, so then all we have to do is take this image and plug it into the composite. Make sure you plug it into the composite. If you don't do that, then it won't render properly. So let's just unplug that now. You see that black image there? If I keep it like that and go to rendering, and then we need to change our post-processing and our output to composite, and then F12. Oh, it's a black image. That's because there's nothing hooked up to this. So we just got to hook that up here and then come back to rendering F12 and we should be good. And now we have our semi-markerless face. So let's go ahead and make a new folder. This one I don't need a PNG. We'll do a JPEG, save, and Control F12 to start rendering our image sequence. All right, so once we have these both rendered, we will put them in our video editor and overlay them on top of each other and render out the final video. Okay, image sequence is finished. Let's go to our video editing and we're going to just delete that. We don't need that anymore. Go to frame 1, add in an image sequence, navigate to our zombie face, add that in. Grab that, move that up here, and then same thing with our zombie teeth. Grab and move that up. Ta-da! And now we play that together. Oh, look at that deliciousness. And the nice thing about this, having them separate, is that you can make last minute changes. So with the teeth selected, Let's go to, let's see, N to bring up our properties here. Strip properties. Go to modifiers, add strip modifier and color balance. And so now you have these kind of like if you need it to be lighter or darker, you have those to work with here. So you got your highlights and your shadows, and then overall, or maybe these are the shadows. I don't know. I don't exactly know what lift, gamma, and gain is. You probably know better than I do. And then, of course, you can adjust the hue on all of this to change color. So there's a lot of things you can do. We've got brightness, contrast, color curves, white balance, things like that that you can mess around with. I like it how it is, so I'm going to get rid of that. And yeah, so here we go. We've got this in our image sequence. We're going to put those together and render that out into a video this time. So let's go back to our rendering and F12 for our render result. You can see it's still connected to the compositor. So I'm going to uncheck that and select sequencer, F12, and now we have that. And I'm just going to double check on all of these that this is what we need. If you wanted to do other things like add a vignette around here using some masking, I'm not going to go over that in this one. I've already gone over some masking in another tutorial. I'll put a card or a link up or down in the description or up in the corner somewhere. But this is good for now, so I'm just going to make sure that everything is good for rendering here. And then, of course, we're going to render this out at a different place because this is actually not an image sequence that we're going to render. We are going to render video. So renders, and then I'm going to title this Zombie Teeth Final, and then underscore enter. That's the name of the video. We're going to change JPEG to FFmpeg video. Encoding, I'm going to change this to MP4 and H.264 at medium quality, good 18 is fine. There isn't any audio unless I wanted to add audio, which I'm also not going to do in this one. But if you wanted to add audio, you just add and record audio and add them as an audio strip here. Just add in a sound. Okay, back to rendering, and yeah, I think we're good. So save that and then Control F12 to render that video. And so it's rendering it pretty fast because we've done all the compositing already. We've done all the masking and everything. It's just two image sequences, one on top of the other. All right, so we're done, and let's check out our video. All right, looking pretty good, looking pretty awesome. And of course, as far as art is concerned, you can always make this better. You can always, like, you know, around the edges, I think could use a little work, of course. You can even model. If you know how to model, you can model like little skin edges that go over that. You can paint those different colors and stuff like that. So yeah, but no, that's how you do it. And that's how you would do anything like wounds, like around, you know, the face or the eye, on the nose, anything like that. So I hope this gets you inspiration. I hope you make some really cool things for Halloween this year. So if you're liking what you see so far, please consider supporting me by going over to Gumroad and purchasing the full course Zombie Face. It's a starter pack here. It's a pre-order, so pre-order at $15, which is half off $30 for now. But it includes a whole bunch of different things. We're going to depth camera tracking. You get a skull. I've modeled a skull for you to use in your 3D object environment. You fit it to your head and to your face, and you can paint it on, and it will create negative spaces. So you have like eye sockets and stuff. It's really cool. There's also an occlusion mask there that I'll include, and I'll teach you how to make an occlusion mask to fit your own face. We also got a moving jaw here, so I'll teach you how to rig up that jaw to where it moves with your mouth. We've got a whole bunch of extras too, 2D masking, cutting out holes in your head, putting clean plates behind there, making brains. I'll show you how to do all of this. Color grading your skin, making it more of a decayed look like a zombie, and even matching the shadows of your original contour of your face and casting that onto your zombie face. So all of that is 50% off now. Again, pre-order only. Right now, the creation of the course will depend on how many people are interested and how many pre-orders I receive. The deadline is October 29th, which is 2 weeks from today. Well, 2 weeks from a couple days ago. But yes, please consider supporting me, and hopefully I will see you over there.